The Moving Iron Podcast is brought to you by these great sponsors. Are you looking to value your equipment more accurately, target the right buyers and close more deals, reach your ideal customer? Then look no further. Fusable isn't just about ag data, it's about action. Our best-in-class solution empowers you to value your equipment accurately, make informed decisions, and find the perfect prospects. Ignite your dealership's growth at fusable.com/movingiron-podcast. Out in the field, every decision counts. You wouldn't plant without testing your soil, so why would you prospect blind? Introducing EDA, your one-stop shop for ag equipment intel. EDA goes beyond specs and prices. You get deep dive data on every piece of equipment like UCC filings that help track ownership changes and uncover potential sales leads. D&B firmographics, which help you understand the financial health and buying power of potential customers. Market trends that help you stay ahead of the curve, and insights on equipment demands and pricings. With EDA, you're not just looking at data, you're seeing opportunity. Find the right buyer, sell smarter, and build lasting relationships. Visit edadata.com for your free demo and unlock the power of knowledge. For over 80 years, Iron Solutions has been your go-to data source for ag dealers, lenders, and manufacturers. Get powerful appraisal and value forecasting tools that fuel profitable decisions anytime, anywhere. Get your free demo at ironsolutions.com. Iron Solutions, confidence in every click. Today, there are many ways to finance ag equipment, but nobody delivers simple, fast, or flexible financing like AgDirect. Learn more about your options to buy, lease, and refinance equipment at agdirect.com. Valley Transportation has been hauling ag and construction equipment across the country for the past 33 years. Call Parker at 800-657-4910 for all your trucking needs. At Valley Transportation, our goal is to help you reach yours.
When you partner with Axon, you immediately gain access to a full range of products and solutions designed to meet the complex needs of today's grower. We carry all major brands and sizes of tires and wheels. We specialize in large diameter wheels for large equipment. We have one of the largest OEM replacement wheel inventories in North America. Known for extreme flotation setups, duals, and triples, we have wheels for all makes and models of tractors, sprayers, combines, and grain carts. If we don't have the wheel in stock, we'll custom build, sandblast, and paint in-house. There isn't a more vast inventory in North America dedicated to helping dealers move more iron. With facilities on the West Coast and in the heart of the Midwest, leverage our 230,000 square feet of indoor inventory to solve any problem a grower may have. Move more iron with Axon.
Moving iron in the 21st century. Hard-working people working hard for you and me. Moving iron time and time again. Through the years you'll find us here. Moving iron.
Hello and welcome to Moving Iron Podcast. I've got Eric Montz here from EDA, and he's nice enough to come and talk about what's happening in the world of data, man. I tell you what, this is probably, I think, this is the weird thing about this, Eric. If you take a look at what's going on around us here, this is that time of the year when it feels like the most sales get done is this in the spring.
I agree.
People are fired up, ready to go for what's going on. Yeah, you got all the fun stuff going on there. Eric is a senior client success manager for EDA. So, Eric, glad you could be on the podcast, man. Thanks for being on.
Yes, sir. Anytime.
Right on, man. Well, let's talk a little bit about this. So you're a little more focused on the construction side of the business just because of what you're at. But the cool thing about EDA is it doesn't matter if we're talking excavators or combines. It's all going to kind of fall in the same thing. So I have a good relationship with EDA and good understanding how things work. So let's talk a little bit about, as you look at what's going on right now in the world, Eric, what do you see happening out there, and kind of what are some of your, I guess, takeaways from what you see happening so far this spring?
So I feel like everything's finally kind of getting back to normal. We had several years where you just didn't know what was going on. We had the chip shortage. You had people that couldn't get inventory. I feel like it's starting to get back to normal now. I don't hear that as often anymore on the inventory issues. Sales are up from what I can see across the board on anybody that I deal with. I'm not having anybody that has any issues getting rid of equipment, selling equipment, both in the used and new market. So I feel like the biggest takeaway so far is we're back to normal. We're back to just that everyday sales, find the people you need to get. You're not having to have these restrictions on you that you can go out. So I know the sales guys are probably feeling a lot more free right now than they used to be.
Yeah, for sure. It's one of those deals where going through COVID, you saw all the stuff that happened with, not so much. I mean, there's stuff to sell, but it was so shackled. It felt like, with what you could and couldn't do, and how you couldn't, what you could do, when you could do it, who you could sell it to, and all those kind of things. So, yeah, things are back to normal, and things are plugging along. So, and that's one of the beautiful things about EDA is that for all the years I've used EDA, looking at the data that's out there, especially on the ag side, you're looking at the ag side of stuff, and you're looking at who's buying what right now. It seems like the construction market has a little bit better handle. I mean, it seems like there's still plenty of stuff getting built, right? Even though interest rates are what they are and all those kind of things, you're starting to you'll still see a lot of things moving along in a pretty good direction. When you're talking with customers and, I call you up and I say, Eric, I'm just having a hard time finding customers. What's the path that you start going down with your clients when you start working through them? Hey, I'm trying to find customers. Eric, what's the easiest way for me to start doing that?
And I have some little stories about that. I mean, I have clients that will call me, especially like a sales manager that goes, hey, our AOR, what counties we recommend or we are in. I have these 2 counties that these sales reps are not getting enough going on there. How can you help me? And we start off by just doing some research. We go into EDA, we run a search for those 2 counties. We pick the equipment types that they have, whether it's construction, ag, whatever it might be. We choose those exact equipment types they're trying to sell. You can even cut it down into compact versus heavy or whatever it might be. And the first thing we do is we show the opportunity amount. So we go, okay, in the past, there's 2 ways of doing it. We have one where, let's just see what's happened over the last year, 12 months. Let's see how much activity is in those 2 counties so we can kind of engage, are we missing it? Or is it just not that many opportunities there? The other part of it after that is we go back to that 3 to 5 year range. The majority of financing in the ag and the construction industry is at 36, 48, 60 months. It's usually that 3, 4, 5 years. And so we'll go back after we know the opportunity amount or the activity. We'll go back and look at maybe some warm leads where we go, okay, these guys purchased 36 months ago, 48 months ago, whatever it might be. They may be getting ready to pay that one off, trade it in, buy something new since they're, that the money's freeing up after that term. So that's the other thing we do. We take that and we go, okay, here's our activity. We know there's activity. Here's your opportunity. And then we could even break it down farther than that. And we'll show them, hey, here's what you guys did. Here's what your competitor right down the road did. We can break it out and go, okay, if you're a cat dealer, here's what Deere and Bobcat and whoever else has done in this territory as well. So it's kind of that way. And then we have a couple new tools in EDA called brand loyalty and buying probability. And we take those and we have a primary brand assigned to each prospect that's in EDA. And and then we give them a swayable score as to how loyal they are to that particular manufacturer. So then, after we get that big list we were talking about, now we can go in and prioritize it as to, hey, these guys are likely to buy in the next year and they're very swayable from your competitors. So just trying to help them out and get that easy list they can go by.
Yeah, for sure. The other thing too I like about EDA is that if I'm out there looking at my inventory right now and I'm like, man, I got a whole lot of X, right? And I really start diving into that, I can really step back and take a look at, who's buying what, like what specific realm of equipment are they buying? Talk a little bit about that, how you go through and start really pinpointing customers to the actual size of machine or actual model size.
Yeah. So within EDA, excuse me, within EDA, we have what's called a prospect profile. So not only are you just seeing the prospects, you're seeing their entire history. You can see all the way down to the serial number of the piece of equipment that they purchased. Yeah. So we're giving you as much information as we can possible on that, whether, you're not just getting a list going, hey, this guy purchased something. We're going, hey, this guy purchased a Caterpillar excavator on March 3rd of this year. It lets you break it down into that. And then we also have other options, which are market share options. And what that does is, now it's based on financed equipment only on our market shares, but it lets you break it down and look in your area and go, okay, here are what top models are selling in our area. Are we competing with the right person? Are we putting, maybe it's a Facebook ad. Let's, the Kubota SLV is selling the best in our territory. What do we have that compares to that? Maybe we put that on our marketing side. Same thing with the equipment types. We can break it down in equipment types and show you, hey, the Mini X is outselling everything else. Maybe we should hire our inventory on Mini X's to make sure we're covered there. So we can break it down as much as we can for you to kind of get all those details for that customer.
Right. And I think that's the cool part of EDA is that you get to see the customers that you're working with and understand who those customers are and what they're buying. Especially, I think, most companies have a pretty good handle on the customers they're doing business with regularly. It's the customers that they're not doing regular business with that they can reach out and touch. So I guess as you're looking at it from a demographic perspective, right? So who's buying the small horsepower tractor or the small, skid steer type thing, all the way up to who's buying the combines, who's buying the big excavator, who's buying the big, articulated trucks, those kind of things. Talk a little bit about how you go through with your with the clients you work with and really start breaking down what it is they can go out and be successful selling, whether that's if they're looking at something small, looking at something big, like those customers that they're not touching.
Yeah, so a couple of things there. One, and this is the beginning of what you were talking about, we're looking at the customers. A lot of people are always focused on what they know and not so much focused on what they don't know. I just want to touch on that real fast is we have what we call a first-time buyer's watch, where we can basically set it up for your territory, the equipment types that you sell, and then this alert will let you know when they show up for the very first time in your EDA data set. So basically, it's keeping an eye on anybody that comes in and say they've never purchased, they're a brand new dealer, but they come in and they buy a four-wheel drive ag tractor. Well, you're going to want to know about that. So this alert lets you know, hey, these people, this is the first time you're ever seeing them. Update that CRM, make sure you're in contact with them, whatever it might be. And then the other part of that is just, breaking it down. We have a couple other outside tools like EDA Analytics, which is a pivot table that you can upload your EDA data into in Excel and kind of deep dive into that. And what that will allow you to do is kind of break it down in a pivot table form of seeing, hey, here are all your top counties. These are your top performing counties. Do you have enough coverage in them? And then it also breaks it down in the market share, showing you, hey, these people, not only is it that this brand or this model is outselling us, but here are all the people that sold it, that bought it. It's letting you kind of deep dive into all of your data. The way we always kind of describe it is the EDA Analytics gives you kind of that 30,000 foot view of your data. It puts it all together right there instead of you having to go in and do the searches and such in the online tool.
All right. So as you're sitting there looking at that and you're working with that, I didn't know about the first buyer watch thing. That's a big tool because
yes.
The thing about whether you're talking farming or we're talking construction, when a new customer pops up in your area, unless you know to go talk to that customer, you don't know they're there, right?
That's right.
Now you have an opportunity where you can see that. That's got to have a big sway what's going on. So talk a little bit about go into a little more depth about what you're seeing on that first buyer watch list.
So EDA is based off when you are a client of ours, your subscription is based off counties and equipment types. And what we do with this new buyer watch is we take that create a watch into it, and it lets you know every time somebody's showing up in your data set for the first time. But that allows you, and I have several clients that take that, they'll come in, whether it's monthly, weekly, whatever it is, they'll take that list and they'll use it to make sure their CRM is updated. You know, we do have EDA integration or CRM integration for EDA, which is a great tool. But for the ones that don't do it, they can manually kind of look at it and go, okay, here are all these people that I don't know about. They're in my AOR. They're buying equipment that I'm selling. I need to let everybody know, whether you do it in CRM or whether you send an automated report out to each rep in the territory. And that's what I've been pushing, those automated reports that you can set up to send out to all your sales reps or individually. And what we'll do is set up a first-time buyer's watch per rep per territory. So when they get that, they know, hey, these people, they're in your territory. Make sure you know who they are.
Yeah. That's a big tool right there.
Yeah.
Because that's, every, most of those guys, when you talk to them, they have a pretty good handle on their territory and who they're talking to, but it seems like a lot of sales guys fall into the, what's the way to put it? They kind of fall into the old adage of, I've got 25 customers and these are my customers and that's who I call on. And, they keep me the busy. That's who I focus my time on. It sounds like here, this tool that you've got is going to really broaden that spectrum where you can say, hey, you're not calling on these people, or, hey, these are new people to the territory, or these people have been a specific, they've been buying skid steers. And now all of a sudden they're buying some bigger stuff. Mm-hmm. They're venturing into a different realm. That's really got to help kind of, broaden that diversification a little bit from the sales.
It does. And it kind of opens up their eyes a little bit. When you show somebody that's something shiny and new, they want to use it. They want to see it. They want to play with it. And that's kind of what some of these new watches and that's kind of the reasoning behind, I'm sure, adding some of these new filters and stuff is, everybody loves EDA. They love the data, but when you add new stuff to it, everybody dives back in. The clients I've had for about the entire time I've been in CSL. So I don't have a lot of brand new clients that show them everything that's bright and shiny. So these tools, showing them these is, it's showing, hey, we're doing our best. We're trying to up our game to help you guys. And hey, let me show you what's brand new. Those are the type of meetings I love doing, going, hey, you guys probably don't even know about the brand loyalty scores or the buying probability that we have. And every time I show it to them, they're like, all right, I like that tool. How can we use it? What do we do?
Yeah, the brand loyalty thing is a big deal, because as you look at the customer base today, they're looking for, I don't want to say brand loyalty is not there, because that's not true, but it's different than it has been in the past. Customers are looking at what's the cheapest way I can function my business, and whether that, and they're looking at all those different things that come into play. The one thing I like about EDA 8 too is that I can go back and I can pull down 10 years worth of data or whatever, and I can start trying to paint that picture of, hey, ABC Construction or whatever this, or ABC Farms or whatever, they've bought XYZ over this time frame. Here's their kind of trade cycle, what it looks like. Talk a little bit about how you coach your customers through that phase of the business and the data that you get.
You're talking about like the cycles and stuff like that?
Yeah.
So the main thing and I told you kind of earlier, mentioned it, was the looking back at those average financing terms, the 36-month, the 48-month, the 60-month. We have what we call milestone watches that will do that for you. Basically, all you have to do is set up the watch to the equipment types. I have people that just do all their equipment. Then I have people that go, okay, my zero-term mowers that I sell, well, the majority of those are financed for 36 months. So let's set up a zero-term for 36 months. Or your heavy equipment maybe 60 months, where your compact equipment maybe 4 months or 3 months or whatever it might be. Years. So what those milestone watches will do will basically alert you when somebody has a piece of equipment that's reached a certain age. So basically you can go in and go, okay, I want to be alerted whenever a prospect has a piece of equipment that's reached 36 months. And then we'll set another one up for 48 months and another one up for 60 months. And the reason we do that is because they don't actually put the financing terms on a UCC. So we're all using educated guesses. And I always tell my dealers, you know, you guys know what you do. Talk to your financing department, talk to your sales guys. What are the most, you know, how is financing looking for you guys? Set your watches up that way, you know. And if somebody shows up on the 36 month and they're not ready for that one, they'll show up again on the 48 month so you can check again. And you're not sitting there harassing a customer. You kind of have it planned out. Hey, this is where I want to kind of talk to these guys.
Right.
And you can do that with really anything too. With the milestone watches and the cycles, not only are we looking for sales, but we're also looking for parts. You know, with some of my dealers, especially on the cat side, I'll set up a parts watch. And what we're doing there is going, okay, well, certain parts of an excavator or mini X or whatever it might be, has a lifespan, such as like hydraulic hoses. They supposedly have a lifespan of 2 to 3 years. Of course, all that's dependent on where they're stored and usage and that stuff. But what we'll do is we'll go into EDA, create a 24-month watch, and we'll select only the equipment types that use hydraulic hoses. So now your parts department has kind of a mailing list or a hit list to go after, going, hey, we're doing a special on hydraulic hoses. Same thing with service department. 1 year after a purchase date, getting an alert, you know, hey, these guys purchased a year ago, they're probably ready for their yearly maintenance, or maybe I can get them, they may have bought it from this Deere dealer, but let's pull them into our Kubota service department. Let's give them a special or whatever it might be. So just some different ways you can use all that different timing, all those different cycles.
All right, Eric, you know, a lot of people right now are looking for technicians, and that seems to be a big part of that. My understanding, I don't know if I'm 100% right on this or not, but EDA can help you find those technicians as they kind of work their way through their job cycle. So I guess talk a little bit about what it is you're doing on the technician recruiting side.
So kind of the same way that EDA can be used in digital marketing with targeting, we can do the same thing with diesel techs. Now that goes to, you know, another one of our companies, Randall Riley. They have the diesel tech recruiting now, but what that basically means is they look in EDA because these diesel techs, you can take on an internship or not an internship, what do they call it? Apprenticeship at these places. And all, they'll bring them in, teach them everything, but they have to work. Well, I think most of those, they have to buy their own tools when they come in. Diesel techs are having to purchase their own tools before they come in, and a bunch of them finance it. And so we have that in EDA as a, you know, with Snap-on Tools or Milwaukee or whatever it might be, we can run that. And that's kind of our target audience that we use for the marketing side of diesel tech recruiting.
That's pretty cool. All right. So you say you use financing not only equipment, but financing tools. That way you can start kind of going down that path. That's pretty neat. All right. So as you're looking at, you know, last question here, and I think explain to folks the UCC process and what that is. And then, you know, each state's different, right? Some states are like wicked fast, and some states are, you know, 5 months later you get the UCC filed, you know. So I guess talk through that UCC process and what that is and how EDA uses that.
So EDA is based off of UCC information. So we're finance equipment only. We have no way of really knowing what the cash sales look like. There's no way of tracking those. So UCCs are basically a security that are sent to the state. So it's basically a lender going, hey, I'm the lender. This person's the buyer. This is what they leased or they financed. And I want to send it to the Secretary of State on this UCC1 to secure it, going, hey, this is what I did. And then we have a contract with all 50 states to collect all UC transactions. So we don't collect, they don't send us just construction, just ag. We get every UCC out there. And then we have a very great department that goes through all of those. And they take those, pull out the ones that are in our industries. They kind of check it for accuracy, what they can find, we have a partnership with Dun & Bradstreet. So we add some of the financial information to it as well. And then it goes into EDA for you guys, or for our clients. And then, so it only takes us about 3 to 5 business days to get a UCC filed, and it may be shorter time than that. Uploaded, but the states are all different. So some states we may get a file every week. Some states we get one once a month. I think the contract is basically stating they have to at least send us something once a month unless there's something an issue. Every once in a while there's a technical issue or they're rebooting their system or their whatever it might be. There may be a delay. Now, if I remember correctly, the last time I looked, nationwide average was like 20. It was under 30 days. It was like 20 something days from the actual purchase date to the date it was on EDA. And now you'll look through and some states will be, hey, they got all the way up to last week. But then you'll look at some states and they're 30, 45 days out. It's just dependent on that. But our department that handles that, our production team, they are great. And they are very fast at getting everything caught up. If there's a delay, they have lightning speed there, let's just say, for everything they have to do.
Right. Yep. It's a very cool thing, especially when it comes to, tracking market share, when it comes to especially when your manufacturer is holding you accountable for different things. You have a kind of a check against that. So good stuff. Big fan of EDA. Love the data that comes from there. I think it's one of those things that is if you're not using EDA and the data that comes from there, you kind of have to ask your where are you getting that information from? And I don't know, there's any place out there to get that information. So Eric, appreciate you being on the podcast, man.
Yes, sir,
if folks want to reach out to you, if folks want to reach out to you, get more information about what it is that you're doing, what's the best way to do that?
I would take a look at Fusable's website or EDA's website. You can also email support@edadata.com. That will get to us if you're a current client. If not, I believe there's a number on the website, Fusable.
Okay. Well, Eric, thanks a lot for being on the podcast, man. We'll catch you again next time.
All right. Sounds good, Casey.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Iron Podcast is brought to you by these great sponsors. Are you looking to value your equipment more accurately, target the right buyers and close more deals, reach your ideal customer? Then look no further. Fusable isn't just about ag data, it's about action. Our best-in-class solution empowers you to value your equipment accurately, make informed decisions, and find the perfect prospects. Ignite your dealership's growth at fusable.com/movingiron-podcast. Out in the field, every decision counts. You wouldn't plant without testing your soil, so why would you prospect blind? Introducing EDA, your one-stop shop for ag equipment intel. EDA goes beyond specs and prices. You get deep dive data on every piece of equipment like UCC filings that help track ownership changes and uncover potential sales leads. D&B firmographics, which help you understand the financial health and buying power of potential customers. Market trends that help you stay ahead of the curve, and insights on equipment demands and pricings. With EDA, you're not just looking at data, you're seeing opportunity. Find the right buyer, sell smarter, and build lasting relationships. Visit edadata.com for your free demo and unlock the power of knowledge. For over 80 years, Iron Solutions has been your go-to data source for ag dealers, lenders, and manufacturers. Get powerful appraisal and value forecasting tools that fuel profitable decisions anytime, anywhere. Get your free demo at ironsolutions.com. Iron Solutions, confidence in every click. Today, there are many ways to finance ag equipment, but nobody delivers simple, fast, or flexible financing like AgDirect. Learn more about your options to buy, lease, and refinance equipment at agdirect.com. Valley Transportation has been hauling ag and construction equipment across the country for the past 33 years. Call Parker at 800-657-4910 for all your trucking needs. At Valley Transportation, our goal is to help you reach yours. This podcast is proudly provided by Axon, helping dealers move more iron for the past 100 years. Find out more at axontire.com. Move more iron with Axon.
Moving higher in the 21st century. Hardware